Hi, I'm Karen, also known as the Preacherlady. Today's Geeks of Faith devotion is The Greatest of These is Love. With Valentine's Day this week, I thought we would start the devotion by looking at who Saint Valentine was. The one thing that all of the differing legends agree on is that Valentine was a priest in Rome in the mid 200s. All of them also agree that while he was in prison, he healed the jailer's blind daughter, which inspired the jailer to become a Christian. Now, some stories say that as he was about to be executed on February 14th, he wrote to that daughter and signed it, Your Valentine. And that's where sending Valentines supposedly started. All of the legends also agree that he was beheaded because he refused to recant his faith. Other details differ from story to story. One is why he was imprisoned. Some say St. Valentine was in prison just for preaching the gospel and evangelizing. Another says he was imprisoned for helping Christians, which was illegal at the time. The most common story was that he got arrested for marrying Christians, which was also illegal. And some variations of that legend say he married Christians so that as married men, they wouldn't have to do their mandatory military service. Yet another said that St. Valentine gave parchment hearts to Christian soldiers and persecuted Christians to remind them of their vows to love God above all. At any rate, by the Middle Ages, St. Valentine became the patron saint of lovers, happy marriage, love, and oddly enough, he is the saint of beekeepers, and the saint you go to if you have fainting spells or epilepsy. And oh yeah, he's the saint that you pray to if you don't want to catch the plague, because that's romantic. At any rate, he is known not only of reminding couples to love each other, but of reminding us that we should love God. That sounds a little like the two greatest commandments to me: love God and love your neighbor. So whether or not you have a sweetheart, Valentine's Day is a time to think about love. So in honor of Valentine's Day, I want to share with you what I think is the definitive scripture on love, 1 Corinthians 13. It is often titled The Gift of Love. I'm reading from the New Revised Standard Version. If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and knowledge, if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I have hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. Love does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. But as for prophecies, they will come to an end. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will come to an end. For we know only in part, and we prophesy only in part. But when the complete comes, the partial will come to an end. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became an adult, I put an end to childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then we will see face to face. Now I know only in part. Then I will know fully, even as I have been fully known. And now faith, hope, and love abide, these three. And the greatest of these is love. Since we are called to love God and love our neighbor, and even called to love our enemies, this passage is important in how we should live every day of our lives, not just February 14th. Whether or not you have a sweetheart this year, I wish you a year filled with love. If you are looking for an accepting and loving geek community, you can find us at Geeks of Faith on Facebook. or you can subscribe to this YouTube channel. Have a blessed and loving week.